What's up everybody, Untitled here, and welcome back to another box review video. In today's box review, I'm going to be taking a look at the new mini box that got announced for Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links called Flames of the Heart. Big shout out to the homie Buscobar for letting me know about this, and if you guys log into Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links right now, you'll actually see that it got posted in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, and it looks like this box is going to be coming out on May 28th. So today's video is going to be me taking a look at all of the UR and SR cards from this new mini box. So I hope you guys are excited for this, and boys and girls, let me tell you something. If you guys leave a like on this video right now and subscribe to the YouTube channel for that spicy Duel Links content, you guys will get all of the UR cards as prismatics. No lie, no scam. Don't worry about it, boys. So like and subscribe. Shenanigans out of the way, let's go do the review on all of the new UR and SR cards, because as you guys can see, we have some spicy cards right here, and I am hyped to mispronounce this, and I'm hyped to mispronounce this. So let's get into it. Now, before we review all the UR and SR cards, I gotta let you guys know that this is gonna be my first impressions on all of these cards, so take my opinions with a little bit of grain of salt, but let's get into it. And first up, we're gonna be taking a look at the cover art card for this box, Yoko the Graceful Mayakashi. Maybe I pronounced it right. I think I did, but there's a high chance that I didn't. Nonetheless, though, this is the main box UR, and I gotta say, I really like the artwork. The artwork on this is really cool. Anyways, though, this is a 9-star fire attribute zombie synchro effect monster. It takes one tuner plus one or more non-tuner monsters. You only control one Yoko the Graceful Makashi. You only can use each of these effects of Yoko once per turn. If a synchro monster in your possession whose original level is 11 is destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect while this card's in the graveyard, you can banish one other zombie type monster from your graveyard, and if you do special summon this card. If this card is special summoned from the graveyard, you can destroy one monster your opponent controls. This card has 2900 attack and 2400 defense. So this whole Makashi archetype is brand new to me, so I might wait on giving my thoughts about this card right now, just because of the fact that I want to read some of the other Makashi cards and take a look at how this deck kind of works, because I can tell that this is just kind of like the combo piece of the deck, but like on paper, when you just look at this card by itself, I'm not really feeling it, but I'm going to assume that this card is going to be very easy to special summon from the graveyard by utilizing some of the other support cards in the game. And also, this card is a zombie monster too, so it has that synergy with zombies, so it's going to be able to do some stuff. So I guess that's part of the reason why this card's a UR, is because it is a 2900 attack monster, and if it's special summoned from the graveyard, you can destroy a monster your opponent controls, and it doesn't state target, so that's actually really beneficial too. So I guess there was my first impressions on this card right here, but I gotta say, love the artwork. I'm gonna assume it's gonna be somewhat easy to special summon this card from the graveyard, so the fact that you can destroy a monster your opponent controls when it's special summoned from the graveyard is really good, especially because it's not a target effect, so you can get around some cards in the game. Like the first example I could think of is going against some of those Lunalight fusion monsters that do not care about getting targeted and whatnot. So there you go. Now the next UR card we're going to be taking a look at is a card called GOUKI Suprex, and it is very interesting to see Goukis in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, considering that this is a archetype that was introduced during the Link era of the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG, and it's just interesting to see this Link-based deck show up in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, and I'm very curious to see how well this deck is going to work in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, considering that we don't have Xyz summoning yet, and we do not have Link summoning yet in the game. So I'm very, very curious to see how well these guys are going to work in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. And shout out to these lads, because I recognize these boys thanks to playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist Link Evolution. So nonetheless, let's go take a look at GOUKI Suprex and see what this lad does. So this card is a 4-star Earth Warrior effect monster that states, when this card is normal summoned, you can special summon one GOUKI monster from your hand. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add a GOUKI card from your deck to your hand, except GOUKI Suprex. You can use the effect of GOUKI Suprex once per turn. This card has 1800 attack and 0 defense. Now you're going to notice a theme with all the Goukis, because they always have the effect where if it's sent from the field to the graveyard, you get to add a GOUKI monster from your deck to your hand, and that's where the combos really start to get going with this archetype, because they can just keep searching themselves out when they blow up, and they can just keep summoning themselves, and that's why Suprex is really good, because when you normal summon this guy, you get to summon any of your other GOUKI monsters too. So I'm very curious to see how well this deck is going to work, and I wonder if it's going to be like a new version of For Hire. I'd be very curious to see what happens, but I'm looking forward to reading some of the other GOUKI cards and seeing which other ones we do get in the game. So I'm definitely interested to see how well this deck is going to work. This deck is either going to flop, or it's going to be a deck that people thought it was going to flop, but it's actually going to perform well in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. So I'm looking forward to it. The last UR card that we're going to take a look at is this card called Gizmek Yana the Gleaming Vanguard, and honestly, I gotta say, this artwork on this card is neat. Also, what's interesting about this too is that it looks like it's like a Ra card. Like, this looks like a descendant of the Winged Dragon Ra, but no, I like the artwork of this card. It's actually pretty cool. It looks like this card is a 5-star light machine effect monster. This card states you could special summon this card from your hand by tributing one normal summoned monster. You only can use each effect of the each of the following effects of Gizmek Yada the Gleaming Vanguard once per turn. So one thing you can do with this card is that during your main phase, if this card was normal or special summon this turn, you can immediately after effect resolves normal summon one monster. If you do, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of this turn except monsters the same type, same original type as that monster. Or you can follow this other effect that states if this card special summoned by its own effect is tributed, you can gain 2,500 life points. Not 500, 2,050 life points. Very odd amount of life points to gain. And I just realized too that the attack and defense of this thing is also kind of odd because it both has 2,050 attack and defense points. Huh. Now, I can kind of see why this is a UR card, because you get to tribute a normal summon monster and then summon this card, and then you can go for another normal summon. So this card could be a potential combo extender for all sorts of decks. Kind of what my brain is thinking of is potentially using this in like a synchro deck, maybe. But then the special summon requirement that it says if you trigger one of these effects is kind of like, yeah, I don't know. I'm very curious to see what this card can do because I'm kind of clueless on what combos that this card is going to promote. I'm going to guess a lot of you guys in the comment section down below are going to probably tell me some cool combos you can do with this card because it's a UR card for a reason and I can kind of see the potential in this, but I feel like I'm missing a big piece on like how this card could be pretty spicy. But then again, we haven't took a look at all of the SR cards yet from this box, so maybe there's some cards in this box specifically that is going to combo well with this card too, which is definitely something to consider. But I gotta say, artwork looks dope. The effect is very intriguing, and this card seems to be pretty neat. First SR card we're going to be taking a look at, and I have no clue to pronounce this thing. Tatsunekro? I don't really know, but I gotta tell you what, it's a pretty cute little zombie seahorse thing. And I actually did read this card because, fun fact, this box actually got leaked, and this is one of the cards I was taking a look at. This card's pretty cool because it's a 3-star dark zombie tuner effect monster that states, if this normal summon / set monster would be used as synchro material, one monster in your hand can be used as one of the other materials. If you do this, all materials for that summon are banished instead of being sent to the graveyard. You cannot special summon monsters except zombie type monsters. Card has 500 attack and 1700 defense. And I gotta tell you what, boys, breaking the fourth wall here. The reason why there's been so many awkward cuts in today's video is because reading some of these cards is so annoying. Because like trying to read the if this normal summon / set monster would be used as synchro material, and then it just goes comma, one monster in your hand can be used as one of the other materials. If you don't do that long pause, it just gets jumbled all over the place. And I read way too dang fast, so I hate that. But nonetheless though, this card is actually really good for the fact that you can synchro summon utilizing cards from your hand for synchro materials, and it's just really cool right here. And from what I'm noticing about this card is the fact that you can still go for pretty much any sort of synchro summon right away, but then after you go for the synchro summon with this card, then it only has to be zombie type monsters. But I could definitely see this card seeing a good amount of play in many sort of decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links for just how good it is for synchro summoning. Actually, I'm going to retract that real quick because I just read the card once again, and the last sentence, you cannot special summon monster except zombie type monsters, is a passive effect. So once you summon this card in the field, that passive effect triggers. So no, the only things that you can synchro summon into is zombie type monsters. So this is definitely going to be a boost for the bootleg 6-Sam archetype. It's going to be a boost for the Makashi archetype, which actually, now that I just realized that, that's going to be one of the ways to summon into these Makashi synchro monsters, is probably utilizing this card. So this card's probably going to be a 3-up to easily synchro summon into those Makashi synchro monsters. And then of course we have a few other zombie type monsters in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links already. So there you go, boys and girls. So I gotta say, yeah, this card's pretty good for synchro summoning into zombie type monsters. Definitely gonna see a lot of play in the zombie synchro decks that are already established and are introduced in this new set. So very good card. The next card we're gonna take a look at is Daki the Graceful Makashi, and this card is a fire 2-star zombie tuner effect that states you can only control one Daki the Graceful Makashi. When a Makashi monster is special summoned to your field from the extra deck while this card is in the graveyard, except during the damage type, you can special summon this card. You cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck the turn you activate this effect except Makashi monsters. So I think I'm picking up what this deck is putting down already. So this SR card right here is a 2-star tuner, and the fact that it has an ability that allows it to special summon itself from the graveyard when you synchro summon into a MAYAKASHI monster from the extra deck, this card will go hand in hand with this Yoko card right here, because Yoko is a 9-star synchro monster and Daki is a 2-star tuner. So the fact that you can synchro into Yoko and then special summon a Daki from the graveyard, you can then go for a 11-star synchro summon. And as you guys know, Yoko has some abilities that relate to a level 11 monsters or a level 11 synchro monsters. So I'm guessing that's where the combos are kind of going right here. So that's really cool right here. So this is going to be definitely another card you're going to want to use to really get this archetype going, which is nice to see. I'm very curious to see how this deck works, because this deck has been piquing my interest more than the stinky bootleg 6 Sands, which I'm still kind of upset that this archetype got support, because honestly, bootleg 6 Sams, this archetype right here is my cursed deck. I lose to this deck 9 times out of 10, and I just want this deck to die. But at the same time, this zombie deck right here piques my interest. So hopefully there's a good build that I don't need to use the bootleg 6 Sands, but if I need to, we'll see, boys. But still, really cool card. Next up, we have another GOUKI monster right here. This is GOUKI Twist Cobra, and this card is an SR Earth 3-star warrior effect monster that states quick effect. You contribute 1 GOUKI monster, then target 1 GOUKI monster you control. It gains attack equal to the original attack of the attributed monster until the end of this turn. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add 1 GOUKI card from your deck to your hand, except GOUKI Twist Cobra. You only can use each effect of GOUKI Twist Cobra once per turn. This card has 16 on attack and 0 defense. Now, this card is extremely good for a couple reasons. So one thing is that you can actually use its own quick effect to tribute himself. And what you can do is that you can go into GOUKI Suprex, summon, normal summon him, summon into Twist Cobra, tributes off Twist Cobra, give your GOUKI Suprex the bonus attack, and then your Suprex gets a bunch of attacks. So 1800 plus 1600 to 3200 attack, very spicy right there. And then on top of that, when this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you get to search out for a GOUKI card. So it's really cool because you get to tribute this card for some bonus attack for your other monster, and then on top of that you get some search ability out of it, which is really nice. So Twist Cobra is definitely a really good card for the archetype, and it's nice to see this in the game. The next GOUKI card we're going to take a look at is a card called Rise Scorpio, maybe, I think it's a GOUKI Rise Scorpio, I don't know, but anyways, this is an Earth 5-star warrior effect monster. If you control no monsters or all monsters you control are GOUKI monsters, you can normal summon this card without tributing. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add a GOUKI monster or a GOUKI card from your deck to your hand, except Rise Scorpio, and then you only can use this effect once per turn. So the last effect is the same as the rest of the GOUKIs, but the fact that you can summon this monster if you either have no cards or no monsters, or if you already have some GOUKI monsters in the field, you can normal summon this guy without tributing. Really nice right here. 2300 attack monster, definitely going to go well with some of the other GOUKI cards that you can comp with, like boosting up this guy with Twist Cobra is going to get him a lot of attack. It's really nice right there, and since all the GOUKIs can search for themselves, it's really cool. So nice to see that card right here. The next SR card we're going to take a look at is Lord Gaia the Fierce Knight, and it's awesome to see some more Gaia support, especially with the introduction of the SOD Yugi into Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, because he actually has a new skill that combos with the Gaia monsters. So this card right here is a 7-star Earth Warrior Effect monster that states, if your opponent controls a monster and you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. Once per turn, if a monster is with attack higher than this card is special summoned to your opponent's field, except during the damage step, you can make this card gain 700 attack to the end of this turn. This card has 2300 attack and 2100 defense. And this card is not too shabby. It's a free summon that you can summon into when your opponent has a monster and you have no monsters, so it's like Cyber Dragon right there. And then what's also cool is that once per turn you can if your opponent has a monster with a higher attack than this card that was special summoned to your opponent's field, you can make this card gain 700 attack to the end of this turn. So this guy has 3000 attack, combo with some of the Yugi's new skills, you get to be doing some piercing damage. It's not too shabby. I'm very curious to see what little fun decks we can build with this card right here, so I'm looking forward to it. Next card we're going to take a look at is a card called Beast of the Pharaon. This card is a Earth 3-star zombie effect monster. If this card is sent to the graveyard for a synchro summon, you can target one level 4 lower zombie type monster in your graveyard, special summon that target. This card has 400 attack and 600 defense. So this card's good for the fact that you just get to go for extended synchro plays. You synchro summon, I don't know, I don't think that there is a 5-star zombie monster in Duel Links. I'll correct myself in post editing if I remember to edit this point, but just for an example's sake, you utilize, Plague Spider Zombie and Beast of the Pharaoh. Plague Spider Zombie 2-star monster, Beast of the Pharaoh 3-star go into a 5-star zombie monster. Beast of the Pharaoh's effect triggers when sent to the graveyard. You get to target your Plague Spreader zombie, summon it back into the field, go for Plague Spreader, and then go for your 5-star Synchro monster that's now in the field, and then go into the Synchro summon of a 7-star Synchro monster. So that's really cool right here. And also I just realized too, you don't even need to go for a zombie Synchro summon in the first place, because it doesn't matter. As long as this card is just in the graveyard for any Synchro summon, you can bring back a level 4 lower zombie type monster from your graveyard and summon down to the field. So while most likely you're going to be playing a lot of you know, zombie extra deck monsters, it still works even in generic synchro. So you can go for a generic 5-star synchro and still go for some extended combos right there. So very cool card right here. Curious to see how well this card will be used in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. Next card we're going to be taking a look at is Makashi Return. This is a normal spell card that states take one Makashi card from your deck except return, and either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard. You can only activate one Makashi Return per turn. Now, I can see the benefit of this card for the fact that you can utilize Makashi Return to automatically pitch Daki to the graveyard automatically. So then when you do go for your Synchro Summon into Makashi, probably using this, you know, tuner monster right here and some 6-star monster, you can already have your Daki in the graveyard and then go for the turn 1 play and then summon into it like an 11-star Makashi, which let's go see if that's even a thing right now, because I don't know if that's a thing or not. Actually, for what I can tell, it doesn't seem to be the case. We'll have to take a look at some of these other stuff right here. But anyways, though, yeah, you can utilize return to pitch Daki to the graveyard and then go for them like 11-star plays. And whatever Makashis you need to send in the graveyard, you can use return to do that. So yeah, return is definitely a good card for the archetype. I like it. Next up, we have another card called Makashi Winter, which is a continuous spell card that states monsters your opponent controls lose 100 attack and defense for each Makashi monster with a different name in your graveyard. You can use one of the following effects of Makashi Winter per turn, and only once that turn. So you can send this card and one Makashi monster you control to the graveyard and draw a card. That's going to be good because you get to thin out the deck and you get to pitch some of the Makashi monsters to the graveyard to go for plays. You can also activate this other effect where you can banish this card on one zombie type monster from your graveyard, target a Makashi monster graveyard, and special summon it. So combo this with Yoko, bring Yoko back to the grave, or special summon it from the graveyard onto the field, and then you can trigger its effect to destroy a monster opponent controls. So Winter is not too shabby whatsoever. I like it, and I like the artwork too. This artwork's actually really cool. I hate the snow and I hate winter, but I always really appreciate like artwork based off of like snow and ice and whatnot. I really like artwork like that, but like living in somewhere like that would suck, but I gotta tell you what, it's very beautiful. And then next card we're taking a look at is Ghost Meets Girl, a SHIRANUI story, which is a quick play spell card. And look at this lore, boys. We have a bootleg Sixam and a ghost girl, which was the Makashi. We got some Yu-Gi-Oh lore, boys. Let's go. Anyways, though, this is a quick play spell card that states if your opponent controls a monster, discard one zombie monster. Special summon a SHIRANUI monster with a different name from your deck or graveyard. Also, you cannot special summon monsters except zombie monsters for the rest of this turn after this card resolves. You only can activate one Ghost Meets Girl, a SHIRANUI story per turn. Now, this card is going to be alright in my opinion and could potentially bring back SHIRANUI's back for the fact that you can basically discard one of your zombie type monsters, which could be one of your SHIRANUI combo pieces, and then special summon any one of your SHIRANUI monsters that has a different name from your deck or graveyard back onto the field. And then you can just go for the bootleg Sixam plays and just go for your Sun Saga and whatever you need to do thanks to this card. So it's kind of interesting because SHIRANUIs are getting hit, but then Konami is releasing more support for them. It's like they just want to make some of that quiche on the bootleg Sixam still, which is pretty interesting in my opinion. Now, I do not know if cards like these are going to bring back SHIRANUIs whatsoever, because I personally did not play the deck. I personally do not like SHIRANUIs whatsoever. It's like my bad luck deck, and I can't say like how well this will boost the deck simply for the fact that I just don't play the deck. But I could definitely tell that this is going to be a helpful card for certain builds of the archetype. So very interesting. And then the last SR card we're going to take a look at is SHIRANUI Style Solani. This is a continuous spell card that states this card's name becomes a SHIRANUI Style Synthesis while in the spell and trap card zone. Once per turn, you can activate one of these effects. One of the effects you can trigger is that you can banish one zombie type monster from your graveyard. The normal and special summons of your zombie type monsters cannot be negated for the rest of the turn, even this card leaves the field. Also, you can activate this other effect that states target one zombie type monster you control, banish it, then you can send one zombie type monster 0 defense from your deck to the graveyard. Now, my thoughts on this card is that this card is pretty neat. The first effect is really nice because you get to stop your zombie monsters from getting negated by card effects, which is super good. So that's awesome right there. Now, in my opinion, That effect isn't going to be used that much right now because there's not a lot of cards in the game that negate stuff. Like, we have Canadian Floodgate. They don't negate, they just flip stuff down. So, you know, it's not going to really, like, be useful right now, but definitely could be very useful in the future if this deck wants to stick around. Also, the second effect right here is the more valuable effect in my opinion, because you get to target one of your zombie monsters, banish it, and then you can send a zombie monster with 0 defense from your deck to the graveyard. So you could take one of your SHIRANUI monsters, banish it. Some of their effects do trigger when they get banished, so you get that bonus banish effect, and then on top of that, you get to send a zombie type monster with 0 defense from your deck to the graveyard, which you can utilize your other SHIRANUIs to go into the graveyard and then go for certain plays that you need to go for, which is very useful in my opinion. So I think this card will also see play, but like I said, I don't play the archetypes, so I can't say for certain, but it's definitely very interesting that SHIRANUIs are getting support, especially after Gold Sarcophagus got hit. So before we wrap up this video, I want to just give a quick mention to some other cards that pique my interest. We have another MAYAKASHI Synchro Monster right here that synergizes with Yoko. So this card, when Synchro summoned, if a Synchro Monster in your possession that is a level 9 destroyed by battle or by opponent's card effect while this Synchro Monster is in the graveyard, you can banish the zombie type monster from the graveyard and special summon this card. And then if this guy gets special summoned from the graveyard, you get to destroy one spell and trap card opponent controls. So this one right here gets to destroy spell and trap cards, while this other one gets to destroy monsters, which is pretty cool in my opinion. There's also some of the other MAYAKASHI monsters that do have some synergy with this whole theme. So I kind of noticed that they have this theme where they just are able to special summon themselves depending on what's on the field, because we have this like 5-star one that can combo with the 7-star one, and then we have a 3-star one right here that can combo with the 5-star one. So it's like a whole chain of effects, which I find kind of interesting. So that's kind of cool right there. I also noticed that there doesn't seem to be any 11 or a level 11 synchro monsters in this, so I decided to go check on Duel Links real quick, and it looks like Star Eater will be your target to go for when utilizing this deck if we're going to try to go for the pure build, because Star Eater is a level 11, so summoning in a Star Eater is going to be pretty useful. And shout out to having a prismatic copy of Star Eater. Maybe I can get some value out of this guy. I've never really summoned as a Star Eater because it never piqued my interest, but now it kind of did because of Yoko right here. I want to use Yoko. If I can play a pure MAYAKASHI deck, I'd love to, because I do really like the artwork of Yoko. It's really cool. Also, another thing I noticed that we pretty much have all of the effect monsters for Goukis right here. We got Headbat, Octostretch, Bear Hug, and Iron Claw. And from what I can tell, that's pretty much all the Gouki monsters that are like effect monsters. And I think the only ones that we're missing is just the Link ones. So that's really cool to know that we have all the effect ones right here. But you guys shouldn't expect any of the Link monsters to come out anytime soon, because Pharaon's world is years away from now. Years away from now, that's for sure. But it's still cool to see that we have all the Gouki cards from what I can tell in this new box. And another card that piqued my interest, that we have a new Sky Striker card, so now I can update my Sky Striker deck. But this card is okay. So Sky Striker Mecha Eagle Booster is a quick play spell card that states if you control no monsters in your main monster zone, target one face-up monster on the field. That target is unaffected by card effects this turn except its own. So it's like an okay, but like at the same time, you only can really target your opponent's monsters at the moment, because the thing is that we don't got Link monsters in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. We don't got an extra monster zone in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links yet. So like, you can't really benefit yourself with Eagle Booster right now. You literally can only target your opponent's monster with this. So it's like, okay, maybe Konami's considering to add the extra monster zone in the game. I don't know, but like, another Sky Striker card, boys. Let's go. And then, of course, we have some new SHIRANUI support. We have a new Synchro Monster right here called Sword Saga. We have a brand new SHIRANUI effect monster called Sword Master. So that's pretty cool right there. Let me know in the comment section down below for you guys that do play this deck if these new monsters are going to be any good for the archetype, especially because they got hit in the ban list once again. Well, that's going to be it for my box review on the new mini box, Flames of the Heart. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think on this new mini box. I think I'm kind of like on the fence of this box. I still want to invest and get a lot of the cards from this box because I have a lot of deck ideas that I want to try out. But like, I don't think that this box is as good as the previous main box. But then again, I thought that the last main box was pretty spicy, and a lot of people were like, no, this new main box is pretty doo-doo. So maybe this Flames of the Heart mini box is just super spicy and I don't know it. But in my opinion, this mini box is kind of meh. But at the same time, I still really want to play the decks because I do like the artwork of some of these cards in this box, that's for sure. So we look forward to my live stream on my pack opening for this new box and any potential deck videos on this new box. Nonetheless though, if you guys enjoyed today's video and you watched to the end, if you haven't already, hit the like button on the video down below and be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links content. Other than that, that's going to be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching and I'll go see you guys next Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links video. See you guys later. Adios.